Hey, leadership team, this is Jed, and this is the second installment of the Leadership Blast. Again, this blast is just to keep the conversation going about leadership and what's happening at Harvest Ridge and what's on my heart and on my mind in between our meetings so that when we're together, we're just jumping into an ongoing conversation. It's also a time for me just to talk out loud and to process. So none of the things that I say are a final draft. There's going to be a lot of soft, squishy stuff, and it's meant to be soft and squishy, but it's also meant to get you thinking about the things that are on my mind. I wanted you to know that last week I was able to be a part of a visioning team that's a part of our conference, and I came away from it, on one hand, very encouraged, on the other hand, concerned because a lot of churches across our nation and a lot of churches in our conference are struggling with the same things that we're struggling with. The good news is that it feels like we're farther ahead. We're asking a lot of the questions before they're even thinking about the questions, and we're coming to some conclusions. In the next year, we're going to be looking at some big ideas, some big possibilities. Ken is leading a finance team, and they're sort of a dream team, just coming up with big ideas. And I think the thing that we, as a leadership team, want to do is to think about how we're going to engage with big ideas. We've seen that growth is going to come slowly, that we're in it for the long haul. We've also seen that there are going to be changes that need to be made so that we can keep up with our staffing and we can keep up with our building. Jim Collins says that what we need to do is figure out how to preserve the core but stimulate progress. Preserve the core, stimulate progress. And so maybe as we engage with these big ideas, knowing that they're going to come, we need to think through a list of questions. Questions like, does this idea understand and preserve the Harvest Ridge DNA? Does this idea, will it surprise people when we implement it, or will they know that the idea is coming? Are we going slow to go fast? And then the big aha moment is if we try an idea and we invest a lot in this idea and it doesn't work, will we have enough gas in the tank to keep on going with ministry? In my short time in ministry, 2 times I've seen pastors and leadership teams invest so much time and energy in a big idea, and when it doesn't work, they've got no gas left. Everything falls flat, the pastor leaves, and then the church is really locked into a deficit. That's not where we want to be. So we want to preserve the core, but we also want to stimulate progress. I wanted to give you an update on where we are with Mark. I spent some time talking with our superintendent and also our associate superintendent. And the good news is that from their perspective, we're right on track. Some interesting information that they had was this. They said because Mark's so locked into the church and he's a part of the DNA, it's hard to put together a job description for him without him in the middle. And I know that we've struggled with that. Are we putting together a job description for Mark? And the answer is yes, but the answer also needs to be no. So as we continue with the job description, we need to be asking the question, does this job description, does it meet the strategic needs of Harvest Ridge in the future? Some of the things that I've been talking with Mark about expanding on his job description is 1, overseeing children's ministry, overseeing youth ministry, starting and then overseeing young adult ministry, because that's a huge gap, that's a huge need in our church. Looking at compassion, justice, and mercy, and then also looking at the financial piece of how the church runs. Again, all of those are in his gift mix. He's passionate about all of those. And so we need to continue this dialogue. If you're thinking about Mark, or you're thinking about the associate and what they'd be doing in 5 years and what they'd be growing into, I'd love your thoughts and feedback. You can email me and we can get that going. I think our next step is to finalize the job description, and that's on us. So. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is how do we as a church in 2013, there's 2 words that keep on coming to mind. How do we invest and how do we invite? How do we invest and how do we invite? And then what I mean by investing is how do we get the congregation of Harvest Ridge to invest in the ministry here, to invest in ongoing attendance, to invest in the budget, and how do we make an investment in the congregation because I think a lot of the things that we're asking and expecting them to do, they like to do, they want to do it, they want to be a part of ministry, they're just not sure. And so we've got to develop this culture in which we're training and we're breaking things down, we're going back to basics. The second piece is just inviting, and we're not going to be a church that can just invite people from other churches. We want those other churches to thrive. And so the pool that we're drawing people from, the place that we're looking to grow from, is the unchurched population. And the good news is that it's a huge pool, and yet we're not quite ready. We're not comfortable or competent, and we're not getting out there. And so again, we need to invest in our congregation, giving them the tools and the support and the encouragement to do just that. Again, I don't know if those are going to be the defining words for 2013, but for me, I'm thinking and planning and working around those words. So anyway, so welcome to installment number 2. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Also wanted to let you know that there's going to be a core group document that's coming your way this evening. Please read it through. It's the proposal of what we're thinking about next. Okay, blessings.